Hello, everyone. Here's your weather hazard briefing for Wednesday, January 8th. We got a little bit of light snow coming through today with a weak system, and then, of course, more as we head into the weekend. But the overall pattern still is high pressure holding tough. That means we do have inversions setting up over the next couple of days, and also some low clouds and some fog around the next 2 or 3 mornings as well. And like said, the next system will come through later Friday into Saturday. Satellite shows the high and mid-level moisture with that system moving in, where you see some of the bluish gray. That's where some of the low clouds and fog is around our area this morning. There's been some up in Lemhi County, a little bit of sporadic activity up around the Montana border. Seeing that expand from Bear Lake up through the Bear River Valley towards Georgetown Summit, and also moving back up the Snake Plain from the Magic and Treasure Valleys. Interestingly enough, it looks like it's disappearing on satellite, but this type of satellite image, the higher clouds will actually mask the low cloud cover, and it extends still back towards the Boise area. Be interesting to see how we may see a little bit of moisture just with the stratus deck and the higher clouds moving over it later on today. But for looking at our impacts and risks over the next couple of days, it's mainly going to be from dense freezing fog. It's not widespread, but where it's dense, it's going to be pretty nasty over the next 2 or 3 mornings, just depending on where it forms, especially over the Snake Plain, the Magic Valley, the eastern and southeastern highlands. Just a little bit of dense fog maybe tonight into tomorrow morning up around the Stanley Basin area. But that rain and snow picks up, and the main push of snow comes later Friday into Saturday and impacting our higher elevations. Let's go ahead, though, first before we look at temperatures for today. Let's take a look at how things are going to go. So we go through this morning. You'll notice we do have a little bit of moisture showing up. This is basically what radar would look like if you were looking at it on the web or on your favorite weather app. We do have a little bit of moisture falling, and this is kind of signifying where there'll be some low clouds around today, especially coming back up the Snake Plain towards the Island Park area later on this morning. As we go through the morning, you can kind of see that pattern establishing. What is happening here, this is not necessarily just the showers. We call this cedar feeder. You have the low cloud cover, you have the higher level moisture coming through, and whatever little moisture crystallizes and falls out of that seeds and feeds the stratus deck and get some light snow or flurries out of that. It doesn't look like we're looking at any freezing drizzle or anything like that, just some light snow or flurries coming out of that. But you'll notice up across Montana, also up into Lemhi County, back into western Idaho, that's that little system coming through and shower activity coming in with that. So we kind of have two things working in terms of precipitation. That band of showers works south and east across the divide into Yellowstone, the Tetons, the Big Holes, while we still have that little bit of moisture potentially coming out of the stratus deck. Also some showers back up towards Lost Trail Pass. As we go through this evening, that batch of showers spreads southward briefly along the Wyoming border. We also see a little bit better chance of snow trying to spread southward out of southern Montana up around Sawtell Peak up into the Island Park area, but still not a ton of moisture with that. And you'll notice that kind of sets in for the overnight hours. We start to lose the shower activity elsewhere. We still have, though, that big area of stratus across the Magic Valley, the Snake Plain up towards the Island Park area. And that eventually starts to potentially dissipate as we go through tomorrow morning with a little bit of northerly flow pushing back into the Magic Valley. We'll see how that goes, but maybe a few showers lingering up around Gilmore, up towards the Big Sky, looping back through Yellowstone and the Tetons and Big Holes as well. That's for tonight into tomorrow morning. So let's get back to that forecast for today. Temperature-wise, you can see where the inversion's holding. Some of these higher elevation temperatures as well are not getting out of the low to mid-20s. Otherwise, temperatures into the 30s and low 40s. The biggest interesting thing today, we saw this yesterday around Pocatello back up towards Craters. The stratus dissipated enough that temperatures shot up into the low 30s, and that's kind of what we're potentially expecting for today. Maybe a little bit warmer for that. But if we get the stratus holding in, that's probably going to be a 5 to 10 degree cooler temperature, so quite a bit of variability in that area. Going with the moisture for today, later on this afternoon, a little bit of light snow, flurry activity, Island Park, Tetons, Yellowstone, the Big Holes, maybe into the Driggs area, and certainly north towards the Big Sky and up around Lost Trail Pass. Going into this evening, you'll see that push shifting south and east a couple of inches north of Yellowstone, also up towards Ennis as well. Just some light snow for us up and around the Island Park, down to around Swan Valley, up at Lost Trail Pass as well. And just overall light moisture expected, and that trend continues the overnight hours into tomorrow morning, but you see the main bulk of the moisture shifting back up into Montana. For tonight and tomorrow, temperatures running in the still staying in the 20s, where we're expecting the inversion to hold in the higher elevations. Cooler temperatures once you get away from that. Again, the same thing for today. Looking at potential of a good 5 or 10 degree cooler day around Pocatello to American Falls, back out towards Craters if we get the stratus to hold in. But very cold overnight temperatures. Single digits where it's going to be in our coldest areas, single digits above to single digits below. Elsewhere, we're talking mid-teens to mid-20s. That trend continues into Friday. A little bit of moderation with that system coming through. And again, on Saturday, the same thing. Temperatures moderating a bit. But still, even if we get some mid-30s, we're expecting mostly snow across our area with that system coming in Friday into Saturday. And then we start to see temperatures dropping back behind that system as we go into Sunday. Looking ahead to our system that's coming through, looking at moisture content. We're not going to, still a little bit early trying to figure out some of these snow amounts, but if you take the snow and melt it, or maybe at the initial part of the system on Friday, we might get a little light rain or a mix of rain over the Magic Valley. But you'll notice these percentages for 1/10 of an inch or more is really not that high, except from around Coldwater up through Rexburg and the Snake Plains. Some of those percentages, potential there. This is the chance we might see that amount or more, running around 25 to 45%. But certainly, once you get up around Stanley, the Frank Church, the Sawtooth, and certainly along the Wyoming border, Island Park, down through the Bear River Range, very likely seeing more than 1/10 of an inch of moisture with this system. This is a 24-hour total. We'll up this to around 2/10 of an inch, and you'll notice things really drop off over the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. Higher percentages of seeing more than 2/10 of an inch still remain up around Stanley to the north and west, and some of those numbers 30, 40, 50%. Higher than 50%, the Bear River Range, up towards the Big Holes, the Tetons, arcing through Yellowstone, back up into portions of southern Montana. This, again, is more than 2/10. And we'll crank this up to around 1/2 an inch or more, percentage, the potential of seeing that much, at least that amount or more. Really drops off maybe around 5, 10, 15% going over Banner Summit, and some areas still running 30 to 40% across the Bear River Range, and again, the Big Holes, Tetons, on up towards Yellowstone and the Island Park area for that. So once again, high pressure is holding, but we do have the system coming through, a little bit of moisture falling, whether it's some showers or some light snow or flurries falling out of the stratus deck that is continuing to develop this morning over the area. Otherwise, with the inversion, cold temperatures under the where we remain inverted over the next 2 or 3 days, the next best chance of moisture coming in Friday into Saturday. Have a great Wednesday, and do stay safe out there, everyone.